Welcome to the Ambitious Coach Podcast. This is a place where driven, determined coaches learn how to get off the business growth struggle bus and learn how to build a wildly profitable online coaching business. I'm your host, Allison Henderson, corporate dropout to six-figure social media business coach. I'm going to show you how I've been able to create the business of my dreams organically, all through utilizing my social media platforms. So pull up a seat, take some notes, and get ready to see your life and bank account transform. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. This conversation with my friend, LaToya Williamson, was silly, fun, but super educational. And overall, she just changed my perspective on how I look at my business with my life's mission. Often as business owners, we tend to get lost in fitting our life inside of our business instead of our business fitting inside of our life. And I know when I started my business, well, I'm sure a lot of you feel this way, is like you wanted to have more freedom, right? Freedom to do things that you wanted to do, freedom to be home with your kids, have more time with your husband, just have more time having fun and doing things that bring you joy. Sometimes, I know this happened to me, is we tend to continue like we're employees of like a 9-to-5 job, and we lose why we started these businesses to begin with. I know I didn't start my business to be working 24/7, right? And I know you didn't either. And you get to choose. You get to choose, okay, how you run your business. There are no rules. There's so much potential and possibility. There's so much freedom if you choose to see it that way. All right. And I know I had to let go of that identity of being an employee and really step into my entrepreneur identity. And it took time, but once I realized that it just wasn't serving me to think like, oh, I have to be working 9-to-5 or feel like I have this 9-to-5 job, I started to have a lot more fun. And I didn't put so much pressure on myself to make more money or hustle more or be at my desk at a certain time. I didn't want to do more or work more. I wanted it to be easy, if I'm being honest, right? And my strategy that I use now is so simple. I wanted it to be simple. And I know you do too. And I choose for it to be simple so that I can have more freedom. All right. So before I dive into this episode, I wanted to share with you who is LaToya Williamson. So she is the owner and CEO of Virtually For You Business Solutions. It is an agency designed to provide concierge online business management services to executive coaches and business consultants while teaching their service providers who want to support them. As a director of operations, LaToya, who some call Sunshine or Pooh, which means power of one, she has been a nurturer from the beginning. She truly has your back. And as anyone who comes in contact with her, she honestly just is somebody that will help you reach your goals and get you to accomplish your big dreams in your life. She loves connecting with her industry peers and sharing her knowledge and experience, and is the current host of Elevate Your Biz podcast. So you can listen to that on Apple and Spotify. So please go check her out on her podcast and Instagram. And as always, I hope you enjoy this episode. Thank you so much for listening. LaToya, welcome to the podcast. Finally, I'm so happy you're here.
I know. I am so excited. I was like, how many episodes have you had before you had me on?
I know. Well, guys, you guys might not know this, but LaToya and I have been online, but also in person friends for the last, I think it was before the pandemic. So 3-ish.
Yeah. It was shortly after I had got married. So we're going into 4 years. So for sure, 3 years.
We met at a Target. I met her on Instagram first, then we met at a Target.
Yes. And we do not get together as much as we should. So we're working on that.
We are. At least, yeah. We just had lunch recently, and we talked about all kinds of stuff in our businesses, and so even before this, we hit play on this or hit record, like we have so much amazingness to bring you today.
Exactly. I think this is going to be a part 1, 2, maybe 3.
We could have our own little mini course.
Ooh, that would be so much fun.
Yeah. Well, okay. Before we even really dive into everything, who is LaToya? And please introduce yourself. How did you get started in this whole entrepreneur space?
Yes. Hello, hello, everybody. Okay, so yes, I am LaToya Williamson, and I run an online business management agency, which is a whole lot of words for I'm a director of operations for my clients. I work with coaches and consultants, and I have been in this space since, okay, full time. Let's talk about full time. So, full time, I've been an entrepreneur since 2016, but I started my business even part-time in 2012. So I've been kind of doing this thing for a long time. I came from corporate, and I did not love the politics that come with corporate, especially for those that were in support type roles. And I kind of always knew that I was going to do my own thing and be my own boss, even though it was kind of funny because I don't necessarily like managing people, but I mean, I just do it naturally. So it was just a natural fit, and I'm loving, even though there's ups and downs, I'm loving just being able to do things on my own terms and helping others to do the same, which is a really big part of my mission. So I'm your operations girl, but I'm also very creative and very much of a visionary. So I feel like I bring that unique perspective in helping my clients, and they rely on that.
So amazing. I always just love your energy too. Like you always just so yes.
That's why that's why people call me sunshine, because I bring the sunshine. Okay, I bring that energy, baby.
I love it. And it's so true. You are just like a breath of fresh air, that sunshine that everybody needs. And you give the best hugs.
Yes,
just,
yes.
Yeah. So you said something that I wrote down a bunch of notes, like your business, your way, like making this like, I think so many people leave the corporate world wanting well, obviously their own business. They want to do things on their terms and doing it their way. And I think because they've been in the corporate world, it's really hard to shed that mindset of like, I can do this however I want to do this. And I've hired coaches before to be like, no, just give me your exact step by step and I'm going to do it. And I also have my own exact step by step, and people can take what they like, take what they want from that. But like, at the end of the day, it's your business and you get to do whatever you want to do. I'd love for you to kind of just, how do you like shed that like employee mindset?
Yeah. So, I mean, this is something that I think it really does kind of come into play with your personality as well, because I have a kind of free spirited kind of, I'm going to do it my own way personality anyway. And so I kind of act as like an accountability coach for my clients to give them that permission to do things on their own terms too, because obviously, I mean, like there are many things that I love about corporate. I love the fact that there is structure, right? I love that. I love that there are kind of the do's and don'ts, right? Of corporate and how to run a business. Like those foundational pieces, love that, and love to be able to bring that into my business, into my clients' businesses. But where and how you do it, now that's a whole different story. That we don't have to do it the way that we did it in corporate. We don't have to do it the way other entrepreneurs do it. And I think there's a lot of not even just mindset shifts from coming from corporate, but even, I mean, sometimes the way you've been brought up, right? Like what your family thinks is a real job, right? that plays a big part too in how you go into your entrepreneurship journey, right? And so when I am working with my clients, or even when let's just talk about me for a minute. So even when I'm thinking about myself, the things that when I'm trying to do something like someone else, it feels uncomfortable for me. And so I'm in tune with myself enough to know that, okay, why am I procrastinating on doing this project this way? Or why is it that I don't want to come up with this offer, right? And it's a lot of times it's because I'm trying to do what other people are doing, right? And as soon as I start trusting myself and saying, no, this is not, I'm going to do it this way, or no, this is not what I want to do because this is not something that's aligned with me, I get so much more done and I feel so much more aligned. And that's what I help my clients to do. Like, I love helping them to, like, I love getting to know them as the person the human being that they are, because then I can help them in their business even more. Because I can ask those questions of, well, what do you love to do? Or why are you even in business? What is the purpose of us, in creating this business? Who are you trying to reach? Why are you trying to reach those kind of people? Right. And then we can create offers around that. We can create a business structure around that. Right. But it all starts with us as individuals, I think. And having that corporate background is a lot of times this overshadowing that we need to kind of shed, and we take pieces from it, but we don't have to build our businesses in a corporate structure, because we're not running a corporation. We're running a personal brand, a business that is built on our skills, on our knowledge, on our wants, on our things that we don't want, right? We're building businesses based on that. And so we have to be in tune with that if we're going to be able to create sustainable businesses that we love. Because I think that's the part more than anything. Like, we start creating these corporations that we think that this is what it looks like to build a business and have a business. And then later on down the line, you might get a few years out of it, right? But then later on down the line, you're like miserable. And it's like, well, yeah, of course you're miserable, because you didn't create a business that's built on you. You created a business based on what you thought you needed to do, or you built a business based on what your clients want from you, but you didn't build a business off of you. And that's what makes a successful business. That's what makes a sustainable business, right? All the S's.
Yeah. So right now, if someone is like, okay, LaToya, I'm really not motivated, I'm not in love with my business really anymore, or like things just aren't in alignment and they're just like not sure what to do. Mm-hmm. Like, how do we figure that piece out? Like you said, like, it's a personal business and we do get to do what we want to do, but like, how do you start taking those steps to do that?
Yeah. Yeah. For me, it's a lot of introspection. Is that a word?
I don't even know if I know what that means. But inner reflection.
Yes, inner reflection. Looking at it, like, for me, it starts with your personal mission and your personal vision, right? Yeah. On what is it that you want? Like, Allison, what do you want out of life? Right? We're not even talking about the work that you're doing. What is it that Allison wants to be known for? Right.
I personally, if I'm just going to tell you guys all this, right now, like, I want to help people build these businesses so that they can stay at home with their families. They can work whenever they want to work. They can be there for their family, but they can also like go on vacations, and they can afford to go on vacations. And there's no like worry around building wealth, like that's my biggest thing, is like, I just want everybody to know that they can really have it all. And yeah, like, this is entrepreneurship. Like, the sky is the limit in a sense. Like, the possibilities are endless. Anyway, that's a part of my mission, is like, I just want people to see how capable they are, and that your body and your mind is so capable. I don't know, I can go on and on about this, but like, I do. I have like, it's like in my soul of like, I want to help everybody have the life that they actually desire,
But I love that you said that. And I love your mission, but I'm going to challenge you and say, I know, right? And say that is the mission for your business. But what I asked you was, what is it that you want? Because at the end of the day, you're building a business. Yes, that's all going to help your clients, right? That's going to help them to have the life that they want and to build the businesses that they want. But what do you want your business to do for you? That's part of your personal mission. That's part of your personal vision. So do you want to be able to work 3 days out of the week so that you can be there for your girls, so that you can take vacations when you want? Like, what is your personal mission and vision for yourself? Do you want to stay in the home that you're in now, or do you want to live somewhere else, right? Because remember, you used to travel a lot, right?
Yeah.
Is that a mission or a vision that you see for yourself personally, that, hey, you know what, at some point I want to be able to go backpacking again, and experience that with my girls, me and my husband and my girls, we go backpacking. Well, that would affect the type of business that you build.
Yeah.
If that's the vision that you have for your life. And that's what I would tell people. Like, if you were my client, that's what I would tell you. Like, okay, I know you're passionate about your business. We're not discounting that.
I love you. I love all of it. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, of course you wouldn't be doing it, right? Because we know that entrepreneurship is hard. So you wouldn't be doing it if you weren't passionate about it. So I get that. But what I'm saying is, what kind of life do you want to live going forward? Is it 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now? What is that life that you want, so that then we can build a business around that? Because that's where the struggle comes in. That's where the rub comes in, is when we're building something that isn't helping us to have the life that we want. So like, a lot of your clients are moms, right? And maybe they're single moms, maybe they're married moms, whatever, right? But they're moms, right? That's your main job until your kids are at least old enough to be out of the house, right? But I mean, you never stop being a mom, right?
No, parenting is a never ending game.
Exactly.
Never.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
But being a mom, that's your number one job, right? Yeah. And so if that's your number, and being a wife, right? Or, partner, like, those are your number one jobs, right? And so your business is not number one, and it's never going to be number one. I don't care what anybody says. Okay. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah. Mom first, wife first, or
yes.
partner first. Yeah.
Yes. Like that, because that's your life. Mm-hmm. And so the business is there to support your life.
Yeah.
And so when you're starting to think about, well, I'm not loving my business, why aren't you loving it? Mm-hmm. Is it because you're feeling like you're being pulled away from your family, your priorities? Mm-hmm. Because if that's what's going on, then we need to be restructuring your business. There's some things that we need to be doing differently in your business. That could be in the services that you're offering, the programs that you're offering, the number of days a week that you're working, right? That's where we start looking at. That's where the strategy comes in. When I'm working with anyone, it's okay, what do we need to put in place? What does it look like to actually say, okay, my business now is supporting this life that I want. And so we've strategized. We've said, okay, I need to create this offer. I need to create this kind of program, because this is what's going to help to support me, where I can still bring in that money, but I can also still have the life that I need to be able to have.
Yeah.
And then we start, as I said before, like, I'm a director of operations. So then I will help you actually build that structure behind, these programs or the services or whatever, right? That's how it works. But you got to start with you first. What do you want? Then we create a strategy around that, right? And then we start to build that. But a lot of times we come in and try to build these businesses, and we haven't done any of that other work first. We haven't really sat down and said, what really do I want out of life? Because when you're working, when we go back to corporate, when you're working in corporate, you work that 9-to-5 job and you go home. That's it. Mm. So yeah, even though that's your 9-to-5 job, and we are kind of building our lives around our jobs, but that's the whole point. That's why you didn't stay an employee. You wanted to become an entrepreneur because you wanted to be able to do work around your life. And we forget that, because we're so focused on obviously generating income.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which I know, yes, we're all in business to make money. But if we do it the right way, if we create a business that supports our life, if we create offers that are in tune with who we are, the money will come, because we're going to then attract people that are having the same vision, having the same mission as we are. And they're going to be like, yes, I resonate because that's what I'm trying to do. And yes, I want to work with this person. So absolutely. Then you'll be making money.
What if someone right now is like, I obviously got into this entrepreneur, like I decided to become a coach or a consultant of some sort, but I'm just not like really passionate about it anymore. Like, because it's not working with their day to day.
Yeah.
Like, what do they do? Like, because I feel like I'm so passionate about what I do, and I can obviously clearly hear how passionate you are about what you do. Mm-hmm. But I've worked with clients before that have kind of lacked that a bit. Mm-hmm. And it is hard for me as a coach to be like, well, just do the work. And it's like, you won't do the work if you're not passionate about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so with that, sometimes you're doing the wrong work.
Yeah. And it's almost like maybe a path. Like, you got led down this path for a reason, right? Like, so maybe they got that certification to become a life coach or a sleep consultant or whatever that they are doing right now because they're supposed to be led into something else. Like, I firmly believe that. I very much have that mindset of like, even if this isn't it, it's leading you to what it really is.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do love that because a lot of times we're led to things because it's based on who we are inside. Like everything that I'm going to say, like, I know it might sound woo-woo, but I know you woo-woo anyway.
I'm so woo. Like,
so it's the getting in tune with you. So if I think about like my purpose, right? If I think about my purpose, which is obviously not a destination, we're not talking about some random destination. We're talking about my purpose and what fulfills me every day to get up out of bed. It truly is to help people, right? That's just the shortest version of it, is to help people. I am a helper. That is what I do. But I can help people in many different ways, right? I can help them in many different ways. I'm going to say that again, because how I'm helping people now as a director of operations, I'm doing that because that's a skill that I have built. That was how I worked, right? That was what I did in my career, right? But at one point in my life, I wanted to be a chef, right? I wanted to be a chef because I love to cook. And I felt like being a chef would have helped me to help others enjoy food in a different way. I could give them a different experience by what I cooked, the dishes that I cooked. But again, I'm still helping them to have a different experience, right? But I could be a chef and I could still be fulfilling my purpose. Or I can help other business owners, as I'm doing now, to make an impact in the lives of the people that they want to serve. And I'm still helping people. I'm using my skill to help people in that way. Or at one point I planned events. Yes, y'all, I'm very multi-passionate.
I was going to say, she's the jack of all trades. She's done it all. She told me before she was a massage therapist. So
exactly.
Like, time for that.
Exactly. Yeah. So let's take that one just for a sec. So yeah, massage therapy. I started in massage therapy because like my mom had chronic illnesses. And so I would help her to feel better. Right. So I was helping her. And so I went to school to be a massage therapist because I wanted to learn like the trade, right? I wanted to know, how can I better help my mom, right? How can I better help other people? Or planning events, right? I'm helping you plan an event. Maybe you're not good at planning events. Maybe you're not good at being creative. So I can come help you to create an experience for your guest as an event planner, right? But again, all of those things are aligned at the core of who I am. I am a person that likes to help people, right? I like to help them to experience new things. I like to help them to be able to do things that they can't do on their own. That is my purpose. And so when I think about, say, you, who are you at your core, right? Or your clients, who are you at your core? When you think about a day where it was just the best day ever, what were you doing, right? What were you doing? Who were you with? Because you can still create that experience. You can create that feeling in your business. And if you don't have that in your business, then you're not doing things that are aligned with your purpose. And that shows up in so many different ways. So there might be a shift that you need to make, that maybe, hey, you went through this life coach certification, right? Or, you know, as a sleep consultant, you went through all of that. So maybe it's, okay, I can do sleep consulting, but maybe instead of doing it for, you know, new moms, maybe it's for middle-aged women. Maybe I'm a sleep consultant because they're going through menopause and they're not sleeping well. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe it's a different way that you could still do that same work, but maybe it's a different audience that you need to help, right? Yeah. So those are kind of things that I would, you know, I started thinking about, I started brainstorming, I started getting creative on like, how can we do that core thing? Right? Which is what we started talking about earlier when we were talking about like, what is your personal vision for yourself? What is your personal mission? Because those are the kind of things that are really, they come from you being aligned with your purpose. It comes from you knowing who you are at your core and what fulfills you. And then you build on that. And then the business stuff comes way later on down the line. You got to do this work first.
Well, And it's always such a common theme of like mindset. Mindset is a huge part of growing your online business or any business. Obviously, we talk about strategy. Like, yes, have a great strategy, have a strategy that feels good and aligns with you. But like, if your mindset is not in check, you're not going to do the things. You're not going to do any of it, a lot of it. And then you're going to feel really overwhelmed, unmotivated, anxious, really stressed out. And like when you're building a business, I always tell people, like, the last thing I want is for you to get burnt out. Like I want you really heavily taking good care of yourself, self-love, doing all those things, like joy. What, as you're building a business, like it is hard. So there's going to be days though that you need to schedule in the massage, mental breaks, the workout, or just a walk, going out with your girlfriends, going out dancing. Like what's something fun that you could do while you're building your business? Or I mean, even now, like I feel like I'm at a stage where I've built the business, right? Yeah. I feel like I'm always going to be like this building stage, but I built a business at this point. Yeah. Like I still have to remind myself, like with the money that I have, I need to go have fun. I need to, instead of just investing more, like, oh, I need to get a new coach or I need to invest. It's like, no, girl, go on a vacation, or go buy something fun for yourself or for your kids or something, whatever. But like, it's just, I don't know. I always have to come back to some of that stuff of just like, I did not start this business to be constantly stressed out.
Yes, exactly. And that's the thing. Like when you start thinking about mindset, there's so many different mindset issues, I guess I want to say, that come up, in entrepreneurship. Obviously, there's the scarcity mindset. Oh, we've all heard that one before, that you're doing things out of a scarcity mindset, that I have to say yes to this client or I have to say yes to this project, because what if I don't get another project? Yeah. Well, what if you do? Is that saying yes to that project, if it's detrimental to your mental well-being or your physical well-being, is it worth it to say yes to it? No, the answer is no. It's not.
And this is something too, though, is like just having that trust that the right clients are going to start coming to you.
I mean, but if you have that motivation that, even if money is your motivation, if you're money motivated, that's fine, right? But you can still have the mindset of, yes, I want to make money. And yes, I'm going to put myself out there in order to generate the income that I need to generate by whatever means necessary, right? But not to the detriment of myself, right? So like we talked about, like how, yes, I went to school for massage therapy. Yes, I can do event planning. Yeah. So in my mind, I can be very selective about the clients that I take on in my business, because on the back end, I could be back here selling Herbalife, because yes, I do that too, behind the scenes, right? I like Herbalife, and so hey, why not? Or I could be making money off of referral partnerships. I could be making money planning an event or something for a friend behind the scenes. Everything that I make, all the money that I make, doesn't have to come from my business. And so that's a different mindset of like, we're putting all of our eggs into that basket of our business, and you don't have to. You can do other things to create income streams for yourself. They could be less demanding as a business. So then it takes some of that pressure off of your business, that I have to make my business work and I have to have these kind of offers because this is what the clients want, even though this is not what I want to do. But you have another stream of income over here. And I'm speaking from someone that I haven't always been married. So I was on my own for taking care of myself, paying my own bills. Okay. And I had multiple streams of income, because when I left corporate, I didn't leave corporate because I was like, okay, see y'all, peace out. I left corporate because I was severed from the company. And so I quickly learned that, oh, wait a minute, I don't want to put all of my eggs in that basket either. So I need to have a backup plan. So that's when I went to massage therapy school, because it was before I was severed, but we had went through different iterations of severances, and it wasn't my time then. But I was like, but what happens when it is my time? right? I don't have control over that. So I needed to shift my mindset to say, okay, if I don't have control over, say, this job, I don't necessarily have control over whether or not somebody's spending their money to buy a strategic planning session with me, even in my own business. So I need to make sure that I have other streams of income of ways that I can have a little bit more control, right? And so that's the mindset shift that I have. So I'm going to make money regardless, right? Whether I'm doing it in this business or I'm doing it doing massages and I'm telling people, hey, y'all, done cut off all my nails. I got a massage table over here. Come get your massage. I'm going to make money. I know how to make money, right? And I think that's where it comes into, like, not just the mindset of like not having scarcity or requiring your business to be the be all of how you make your money, but also trusting yourself that you are capable of creating and generating income for yourself, regardless of what you're doing, whether it's your business or something else.
I don't know how many times I've received money that wasn't from my business.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people either gifted it to me or I got a random check in the mail. And like when I'm sitting here going, oh my God, I'm so worried about money or whatever, I'm like, I'm just open to it coming from anywhere. Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to come from a new client or somebody on Instagram or whatever.
Exactly.
Like it can come out of nowhere.
Yes.
So
I mean, because like when I first started my business, well, I shouldn't even say I started as a freelance first. So every client that I ever got was a referral, period. I wasn't on social media. I was no LinkedIn, no Instagram, no TikTok, no nothing. Okay. Everything just came to me, and it still does. The majority of my business comes to me from referrals.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I have no idea when that's coming. I have no idea when somebody's talking about me, but next thing you know, I get an email of like, hey, sunshine, somebody's looking for this. And I'm like, okay, let's talk. Yeah. So it's absolutely doable, right? It's absolutely doable. And so we just have to, I think some of, like we talked about, like that pressure of your business, but even the expectation of our businesses and what it should look like and what it shouldn't look like. We need to tear all that down, right? It can be what you want it to be. And we just have to be, I think, ready and excited to just kind of go with the flow. Like business, being an entrepreneur has taught me a lot of patience.
So type A people hate that. You know what I mean? It's like, no control. I have to control my life, my business.
Yeah.
And entrepreneurship. I'm going to ask you a question. Do you believe in consistency?
Yes, I believe in consistency. But it doesn't have to be quantity consistency. It's your consistency. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm one of them kind of people that I show up on social media when I want to show up. But people know that I'm going to show up. They know I'm going to come back. Yeah, y'all missed me. I know, but I'm back. And so, yeah, I could probably be better at it. But for me, it's like I show up when I want to show up. And I talk about what I want to talk about. And that's what people appreciate about me, though. Like, that's what they're like, oh, LaToya has posted. Let me see what she's talking about. Because I know she's going to be talking about something. You know what I mean? And so consistency, absolutely. Focus, absolutely. But you have to be focusing on the right things. And you have to be consistent in a way that feels good to you. Because otherwise, you're not going to do it. If I had to post on social media four times a week or 5 times a week, I wouldn't do it. That's why I don't, because that doesn't feel good to me. I'm the kind of person that I do kind of go with the flow. I do want to be able to just pop in and talk about what I want to talk about or show some aspect of my day as it comes. It's very hard for me, like, to have that structure around, okay, I got to post something every day. And this is what I need to say, because I'm not going to say it. I'm going to say something totally different. And I think that is, like, I know a lot of people, like, we talk about messy action. I know we were kind of talking about messy action, and I believe in messy action to an extent. I think that messy action comes from, though, a plan, right? You have to kind of know where you're going, which is why we were talking about that purpose, being aligned with your purpose. You kind of got to know where you're going And yeah, you can make some twists and turns along the way, but you still got to be going in the right direction. Right? You still got to know kind of where you want to end up. And I'm using air quotes. Y'all can't see me, but I'm using air quotes, like where you want to end up, to kind of then figure out, okay, there are multiple ways that I can get there. Right? Because sometimes, yeah, you might have to take a detour, but still, what's the end goal? And that's what we all need to make sure that as entrepreneurs. I love to say that entrepreneurship is a lifestyle, because it really does change how you think and how you act and how you respond to different things. Like, I mean, when I look at TV, I look at TV and marketing a whole different way as an entrepreneur than I ever did as an employee. Mm-hmm. And it's because my mindset has shifted, right? But I have a goal in mind. And so everything that I see, it's like, oh, is that going to help me to get to my goal? Is that something that I need to learn more about, or that I need to, institute into my business? Does that feel good to me if I did that? Right. But it all still comes back to me. So it starts with me, and then you have to know where you want to end up. So it starts with you, but you got to know where you want to end up.
I always think,
no, go ahead.
with messy action, going back to that a little bit, because I always tell my clients, just take messy action. And I guess what I mean by that is it's not going to be perfect.
Yeah, for sure.
You're gonna fumble on words. You might have a spelling error, grammar. I suck at grammar. Like if you read my post, it's just like how I talk. Like I'm just somebody. It's like I just take messy action, even to this day. Of like, I just know my content does a lot of the heavy lifting for me, and I still show up in a very strategic way, right? Because I'm speaking to a very specific person. Yeah. But like I said, like my mission and like my purpose behind my posts is, I don't know, it's so, I guess, like I said, deep, it's embedded inside of me. Like, and that's what gets me excited to show up. Like I get excited to post. Like, don't get me wrong, it's kind of one of the sucky parts of entrepreneurship. It's like I still have to show up. People need to remember who I am and blah blah blah. But like so the messy action for me is just like, it doesn't have to be perfect. And like I had to really release that. I think so many times we feel like everything has to be like the perfectionism inside of you.
Yeah.
Like it has to be so perfect for me to show up and for me to do these things. And it's just like, it doesn't have to.
Yeah. And I definitely get that part of messy action. And so I think it depends on how you think about it, because when I think about messy action, I think because I am like a strategic planful, like I'm a planner at heart. I'm not necessarily a very spontaneous person, even though it's so funny because I am like a walking contradiction, because I am definitely very free spirited and go with the flow. But at the same time, I'm not very spontaneous. So like, cause I mean, I have to manage my energy. So I can't just jump up and be like, oh yeah, I'm going out to dinner. I'm like, wait a minute. Is my energy going to allow me to go out to dinner today or what? Right. So when I think about messy action a lot of times, and so if you're like me and you think about messy action, it's not so much the perfection part. It's okay, I'm just going to try this over here and try this over there and try this over there. And when I'm doing that,
I don't recommend that.
Exactly.
It's when like one strategy.
Exactly. And that's the part, because a lot of times when you're starting business, people will say like, they'll say messy action and try a whole bunch of different things to see what works. And a lot of times that gets you distracted. A lot of times that allows you to forget why you're doing it in the first place. So if you're talking about like messy action in that way, no, I don't agree with that. But the throwing the perfection out of the window, messy action, absolutely. Because nothing is going to be perfect. Because number one, we're imperfect people, right? So we're bringing imperfect people into a space of other imperfect people. So yes, it's okay to flip flop and say and like and have typos, and even though that might get on your nerves, because I mean,
yeah,
that definitely get on my nerves. I'll be like, I need to, but take that whole post down because I missed a B. But I've helped myself to not do that. Like it's okay. And I'm still, in recovery.
We're all recovering perfectionists.
Exactly. But it's like the more I'm in this space, the more I am just like, Toya. Like, this is what I call me Toya. Like, I say my name is LaToya Williamson. Y'all call me Toya. But like, Toya, like, girl, what people love about you in real life is the imperfect, crazy, quirky person. And so how do I bring that into my business, right? So that people can experience that. How do I bring what I'm good at, what I'm passionate about, when I feel the most joy? How do I bring that into my business, right? All of these things that I'm saying right now have nothing to do with anybody else. It's all me. And even though, yes, our businesses is to serve others, we're building a personal business. We're not building PepsiCo's over here. We're not building Nikes over here, right? We're not building that. Even if we get to revenue, we're still not going to get to that. I mean, maybe that's your dream. Maybe you do want to be there, but most of us don't want that. Most of us want to make a good amount of money, maybe have a small team, maybe, but we want to be able to live life. That is the whole reason that most of us started our businesses, to be able to, I want to work from the beach. I want to be able to travel and do what I want to do, but and serve my clients. But remember, I want to be able to do this and do that. I want to be able to do this and still do this. I want to be able to do this. Like, that's the part that I think we forget, because we're so focused on, I'm trying to create this business or this brand that's going to serve my clients, that's going to make me money. And then next thing you know, you end up doing that. Where I've worked with clients, you making $500,000 or $1 million, but you're not enjoying any of the fruits of your labor. If anything, you're working harder than you ever did in your 9-to-5 job. You have no time. You don't go to the doctor, right? You're neglecting yourself, right? And that's what we don't want for our businesses. We don't want our businesses to be a hindrance.
Why do you think they get to that point though? Like, you're making $1 million a year. They're super burnt out. They have like no time for themselves. Like, how did they get to that point?
Yeah, a lot of it is the mindset, right? Of maybe they have a team of people. So it's like, I got to keep making money so that I can continue to pay my team, right? It's like, okay, but you can still make money and you can still pay your team by not saying yes to this job or this project or this client that is sucking the life out of you. We can find another way to bring money into the business, that it doesn't mean that you have to say yes to this wrong client, right? And so that's the thing, that it's hard to get out of that though. When you're making money, especially like a lot of clients that I'm working with, like, they started their businesses based on their expertise or their knowledge. So like, we're talking about a coach, right? They have their clients, they've been coaching, right? And how they started their business, like how I started my business, a lot of referrals, right? So those referrals start coming in, and then you start making money and you're serving clients, you're serving in excellence, right? You're doing your thing. And so then more clients are coming as referrals. But because when you first started your business, you were taking any client that came your way, because why? You were trying to make money. And so now you continue to get referrals of clients that are not necessarily the right clients that you should be working with, but because you were accepting those clients, you're going to continue to get those clients. And so now you look at your business 3 years later and you're like, oh my gosh, like, why am I serving all these clients? Like, how did this happen? These are not the kind of clients that I want to serve. Well, yeah, because your whole referral base is based on this wrong client. And you never stop to say, wait, this is not the right client. Let me stop what I'm doing and let me start attracting the right client. Right? So that's how it happens. You just get so used to doing the same thing over and over again for the wrong type of people, and doing the wrong type of services or having the wrong type of programs. And then you have that moment where you see so many of us as entrepreneurs are like, oh, I need to figure out who I want to be, or I need to pivot now. I need to shift. I need to make some changes in my business because it just doesn't feel aligned anymore. Well, yeah, because you were focused on making that money, right? Which is not at all a bad thing, but it's how were you making that money? If you were making that money the wrong way that wasn't aligned with you, then yeah, that's why it feels unaligned.
So I obviously work a ton on the mindset component. Like, the person right now who's listening, that's just like, now, like, everything now feels like, okay, I like my strategy, but I don't love my strategy. Like, how do they find that? Like, I took a lot of different courses. So this is like when I first started, I was like, I'm buying this. I want to figure out what everyone else is doing, do it my way.
Yeah.
And like now that's like what I'm doing. It's like I have a strategy that worked for me based off of like these 10 other programs. Like I was able to figure it out. And I still to this day, I tweak it. I move things like it constantly, it's in motion. My business is in motion. But like that, I said, like that person who's like, I just want to find the strategy that I feel really good with. And that's going to bring me the consistent clients. Like, what do you suggest for her to do?
Yeah. So something you said to me in a conversation that we had, probably, I can't even remember when, but one of the things that really helped you in your business was having that coach, right?
Yeah.
So you went through that program, you had that coach, and that really started your trajectory. And what I would say to that is, this is not me just saying, okay, everybody hire Allison as your coach or hire LaToya to help you. Like, this is not that. This is sometimes what helped you was having a different perspective of someone coming and helping you in your business, right? They gave you a different perspective on your business. So not a different perspective on their business or how they did their business. But that's what helped you to start seeing things differently for yourself, right? And so whether you have the funds or anything like that to join a program, get a coach or whatever, sometimes it starts with just having a different perspective. And you can get a different perspective from family and friends of like, hey, when you see me at my best, what was I doing? Or what do you think I'm really good at? See, that's where you start building it. And if it starts with that, this is what I'm going to keep saying. It starts with you, right? The answer is always, it's going to start with you. And it starts with you and who you are at your core, because then you can build upon that, right?
I was going to say, like, and we use the word authentic a ton, like in marketing. It's like, be authentic, be the real you. They are buying you at the end of the day. Like, there's so many coaches that are doing exactly what we do. Like, so many people out there, but like, people are hiring us because they want to be in our energy. They want to learn from us. They want to be in our weird. They want, they like our recipe of weird or whatever, right?
Exactly.
And so, but if we're constantly not showing that to the world, we're hiding that piece. And that's why I love social media, because it's free advertising, right? It's free. It goes out into this ether world. People
look for now. Look.
it's for now. Social media. Let's say if Instagram, people have brought this up to me before. It's like, well, what if Instagram and Facebook one day just decide to blah, blah, blah. There's going to be somebody else. I know for a fact there's going to be somebody else that's like, okay, this is our new social media MySpace. Like, welcome back to the MySpace world. So like, MySpace went away. Guess what happened? Facebook came in. Then Instagram. Then we had more TikToks. Like, it's going to keep coming. So people, I always tell people, like, relax. Once you know how to market and sell yourself, you can do it anywhere. Anywhere. Once you know how to make money, you can do it. You can make money elsewhere. Like,
you can do mailers. Like, you can do mailers, emails.
Bring it back to the basics.
Exactly.
Right?
Come on now. Commercials.
But like, it always going to go down. Like, people are buying you because of you.
Yes.
And so it's so important to show up and like
just and show you. That's the part,
real
though.
You.
The real you. And that's what I think, like, when we're talking about like our people from corporate, they're showing the corporate them, right? But they're not always showing the real them. And it's because maybe they're like, oh, well, my type of client they're very professional. And so I need to be professional.
It's like, oh, I can't show I'm drinking a beer on this podcast.
Exactly. And it's like, okay, but are those the kind of people that you want to continue to work with? That's my question. Like, if that's what you want to work with, then okay, let's go ahead. Let's keep going. We can go down this path. But if you're not loving it, then we need to shift, right? We need to shift who you're talking to and who you're attracting. And again, but it all comes down to what you want and showing yourself and not being afraid. That is the thing. Like, I think we are so intimidated, and so we put so much stock in what other people think of us, that is what starts us down that path of not showing up consistently on social media, or not showing our real selves on social media, or not coming up with the services or the products or the programs that we really want, right? I mean, like, if I said, okay, I'm going to start a YouTube channel today and it's going to be all about cooking, people will probably be like, okay, but that has nothing to do with what you do in your business. Okay, like I'll find a way to, I have an ebook of recipes. I'll sell that, right?
If you have time, girl, do it. But
I know.
It's like a whole nother thing to start. It's like, oh,
God. Exactly. But I mean, I'm just saying that, I mean, like you said, I think you said it earlier that obviously, business is, it kind of ebbs and flows. It's constantly going and moving and changing. And why is it doing that? Because we as individuals are constantly moving and changing, and our businesses are built on us. So why not build a business that supports us as the human beings that we are? And so it just takes a little time to really realize what that is and what we want, which goes back to that. What is the life that you want? So that then we can build that business around it, and we can start attracting the right people that are going to fill up that business, that are going to help us to make that money that we want to make. But it all starts with that big plan for our life, not our business.
Yeah.
Because that's what I think we do. We focus so much on the business, but it's not that. It's what do you want out of your life? And then let's build the business around that.
I love that. I think you're so right. That's my mentality too, is like, I sat here and I was like, what do I really want? And I'm going to build my business around that.
Yeah. So. And that might mean you have to make some changes, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, because like when I think about my business, like, okay, so everybody who kind of knows me, they know that I get my hair done on Thursdays, right? I get my hair done every other Thursday.
Oh, every other.
No, not every other. But everybody knows Thursday, so they think it's every Thursday. Okay. And so I say, you know what? So I'm just gonna go with that. And so don't look at me, don't call me on Thursdays. I'm not available. I could be getting my hair done or not. But that supports my lifestyle. So now when I'm working with my clients or even part of onboarding them, I do director of operations retainers, right? And so out of the gate, I should say, I am not available 5 days out of the week, point blank, period. Never going to happen. Don't talk to me. So my full-time retainer is 4 days out of the week if I'm going to do full-time. It might be 2 days out of the week, right? But I created that service around the life that I want to be able to get my hair done on Thursdays. And if I have to change my day on a Thursday, I don't want to have to be worried about, I scheduled meetings on this Thursday because I wasn't getting my hair done, but now I got to move my date. I don't even have to worry about it. Yeah. I can schedule my days how I want to schedule it. I can do what I want on Thursdays. It could be a CEO day if I want it to be. It could be I'm going to get a massage. I'm getting my hair done. I'm going to hanging out with my parents. I'm having lunch with Allison. Whatever it is, I could do that on the Thursday and I don't have to worry about it. Yeah. But I do have a service that accommodates for that. That's built in. I price myself whatever it is, right? I'm thinking about that's the life that I don't want to work 5 days out of the week. Or I don't want to meet with someone at 9 a.m. because I'm barely getting out of the bed. Okay. I schedule meetings after 10 a.m. because I can't do it. Right. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you start thinking about, okay, but this is the life that I want. And so now how can my business support that? What are my do's and what are my don'ts? What am I'm gonna or I'm not gonna?
Yeah. I don't take calls anymore on Mondays or Fridays unless I have to get them in or something because I like those days where I live nothing. And I mean nothing to do except for what I want to do. It could be in my business or it could just be like I want to go work out or get the massage or have lunch with like you. Like or some days just like my husband and I want to like have an us day where we go out and have like date days because the kids aren't home. So it's like
exactly.
Those are the days that those are my favorite days, even though I love my client call days, but it's just like I can jam pack 3 days out of my 7 days of the week of like just getting client calls. I'm in the energy that day to just be coaching. Right. But like I had designed it that way because I didn't want to be working 7 days.
Exactly. Because just imagine if you offered a one-to-one, or maybe you were working as a sales, manager at some corporation, right? Or some company where you had to work 5 days out of the week. That's not going to work for you because that's not what you want, right? Even, and I'm not going to say it's some corporation, but I'm saying as an entrepreneur, like you were working in somebody else's business, you took a job, say a fractional sales manager, director, you took that job to work with them. And so, of course, they're expecting you to work 5 days out of the week. And you're like, no. So you would never offer that type of service in your business because you don't want to have to be like, no, I'm not doing that. Right. So you offer services in your business where you can get on-demand coaching from you, or you can get into my program, right? And your program is structured where we're going to have our calls on Wednesdays, or we're going to have our calls on Thursdays. But we're not having calls on Mondays and Fridays, right? That's how you structure your business. And that's how we all need to do, right? But it all starts with, okay, what kind of life do I want to have? How do I want to spend my days? You know, when you get up in the morning and you do your meditations and you're doing your yoga, like, can you imagine if you had to get up and you had calls, like you had a service where you're like, okay, everybody, we're going to start our days and we're going to do affirmations together at 8 a.m. Well, what if you don't want to do that at 8 a.m. for everybody? You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, I'm not going to offer that as a service. And so oftentimes when I think about my kind of clients, because they were in corporate, that's what they're doing. They're like, oh no, I need to meet the needs of my clients. So yeah, okay, I'm going to take that call at 8 a.m. even though I don't like to get up before, 8 a.m. It's like, no, then those are not the right clients. If they're expecting you to do that and that's not what you want, then we need to shift and find you different clients.
I love it. LaToya, you always come here or always just bring me so much wisdom. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I feel like we could literally talk forever, and I'll have you back. I'll have you back on. I always will.
Yes.
So what's some last words of wisdom that you would love to tell these women who are kind of new in business, or have been doing this for a couple years, and just obviously you're listening to this because there's maybe they're struggling right now, or they just need that motivation. They need a little boost. Yeah. What should we tell them today?
Yeah. First of all, I want you to keep going, right? Because you're on this journey for a reason. And so I definitely applaud you for that. Anybody that takes on entrepreneurship, congratulations, because you already stepped outside of the norm to do this, right? So that's first step number one. So keep going. You're already doing amazing because you stepped out on faith, right? Faith in yourself. And so I would say to keep trusting yourself, right? You're on this journey for a reason. Keep trusting yourself and don't forget why you started, that you want to build a business that supports your life, because that's why you started your business. I know that's like the common theme for most of us as entrepreneurs. We wanted to be able to live life on our own terms. So allow your business to let you do that. Don't do it the other way around.
So LaToya, how can people get in touch with you? I know that you talked about Instagram, but what's the best place that where do you want everybody to message you?
Yeah. Message me on Instagram, LaToya K. Williamson on Instagram, as well as on LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn. I love to connect on LinkedIn. We can connect directly on LinkedIn. And it's also LaToya K. Williamson. So yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on. Guys,
this is so good.
Yeah, she's just, like I said, she's sunshine. And I want you guys to have her in your life too. So please go follow her. And let her into your world. So thank you, LaToya, for coming on today.
Thank you for having me. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for listening to the Ambitious Coach podcast today. A couple favors before you go. If you found this episode helpful, please take a screenshot and share it on Instagram. Most importantly, don't forget to tag me at AllisonHenderson_coach. That's ALLISON Henderson_coach. And lastly, please take a minute to rate this episode and leave a raving review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you tune in to listen. Okay, ambition is great, but it's time to get to work. Take action and commit to being 1% better every day. Once again, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you again next week.